Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. Yesterday, I said that today I was going to talk more about the Shizuoka Hobby Show, but we got some news that I just gotta talk about first. Starting with rumors about the new Gundam series called Gundam Zero. So, supposedly, the designs and the Gunpla for the lead Gundam of this supposed new series got leaked, and we even got some of the story. The female lead will be an alien, and the male lead has a design similar to Char, with blonde hair and all. His mobile suit will be an entirely red Gundam. Keep in mind though that 1. This is Google translated from Chinese, so the translation might not be entirely correct, and 2. This is also entirely unconfirmed. As for the Gundam leak, I'm not buying that one either. Back when things were leaked for G-Quox and the leaks were actually true, Bandai was incredibly fast to act. The Twitter account where the leaks started just got nuked into oblivion, and everyone who reposted those images, they got their posts removed. So when it's true, Bandai's really fast, and the supposed leaks for this Gundam, you can still find them as of the moment of recording. But that's not all. The images you can find about the supposed Gundam don't really feel all that official either. One of them feels like a bit amateur. Not bad, but just not something you would expect for a professional Gundam series. The second picture then does look better, but we have some weird thing going on with the weapons. Amongst its armaments are 2 GN beam sabers and a GN shield. Plus, I feel that there's some weird things going on with the details that are giving me somewhat of an AI-generated vibe. So yeah. Whatever you see about this so-called Gundam Zero, until Bandai confirms it, take it with a huge grain of salt. Make Tomura proud about your salt intake on this one. Now, let's move on to the actually confirmed news. Bandai just held the Spring 2026 Gundam Conference, where they announced quite some things leading up to Gundam's 50th anniversary in 2029. So of course, the first thing they showed us was this really cool animated short about a guy who grew up with Gundam from his childhood. We see him running home to catch the first Gundam on TV, and then it basically goes through his life as the different Gundam series, movies, OVAs, etc. play. Basically, it's got every major and minor Gundam, plus even some stuff that didn't get their own anime, like Moon Gundam, Gundam Sentinel, and Advance of Zeta. The only things that I wasn't able to spot were G-Savior, because, of course it wasn't going to be in there, and Twilight Axis, although that might be because I missed it, because a lot of references were you blink and you miss it. They even said it in the live stream, you can talk 40 minutes about every second. That's just how packed some of the scenes are. You should totally check it out, and I'll have it linked down below. This was then followed by the announcement that starting next year, Japan will have an official Gundam Day. The series first aired on April 7th, 1979, so starting 2027, every April the 7th will be Gundam Day. The perfect day to do Gundam-related things, although I don't think most of us really need an excuse for that. Still, you might want to mark it in your calendars though, because Bandai is planning to do stuff on that day. We don't know what the stuff is, but they're planning to do it. Next up, we got some information on the Gundam Zero that is happening. Gundam Seed Freedom Zero. And prior to the live stream, we still didn't know what exactly it was going to be. Was it going to be an entire series, like an OVA short, or was it going to be a movie? And now, we got confirmation that it is going to be a movie. Also, they confirmed that production is going smoothly. Something that they of course had to confirm because the original Gundam Seed Freedom took 20 years to complete, something that they even joked about in the live stream. And they didn't just say one time that production's going smoothly, they said it at least twice, that yes, it is definitely going smoothly. And considering how well Gundam Seed Freedom performed, I can definitely see why Bandai would want to really ensure that Gundam Seed Freedom Zero is going smoothly. What we also got is a new promotional video, although it's not really showing us a lot until the very end, where we get this really cool shot of the Strike Freedom looking very menacing and firing at the camera. This has to be from when the Strike Freedom was stolen. The rest of the promotional video then is just showing us line art of various characters that we already knew were going to be in the movie, like Kira, Lacus, Athrun, Kigali, Isaac, Shin, Agnes, and Leonard. So from the animated movie, we go to the live action movie. Most of the information here was what we already got in the West, but now presented for Japanese audiences. The newest thing they told us was that the sets they're building are apparently going to be super high budget, and in those sets, we'll get to see iconic mobile suits and ships. So this then raises the obvious question. How literal do we have to take this? Because this makes it sound like the movie is going to be linked to an existing series, because otherwise, I mean, you wouldn't have iconic mobile suits and ships showing up. But when you think back about the synopsis of the story that we had so far, it made it sound like the series was really going to be its own thing. So are they gonna reimagine an existing series, or are they just gonna do their own thing and then plop some existing mobile suits and ships in there to, as eye candy for existing Gundam fans? Talking about recognizable mobile suits, they announced that the very first Gundam is gonna get a remaster. Something fans have been asking about for years, and now it is finally happening. Although on the flip side, I have also seen people saying that the OG Gundam doesn't really need a remaster, but still, I think it is going to be cool to see what they do with the series now. Unfortunately though, they don't have any footage for it yet, so we don't know which style they're going to go with, and they also haven't told us how they're going to do it. Are they going to do it like with Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny, where it's a one-to-one recreation of the series, but just with upgraded graphics? Or are they going to do a major overhaul? This last option could be dangerous, but it could also be really cool, especially if they then also incorporate elements from Gundam series that have come out since the first Gundam. Just imagine having gym ground types at the Battle of Odessa, or a shot of the Mudrock Gundam at Jabro, or a bunch of MSV units showing up at Solomon and Abawaku. The one thing that we do know for sure is that they're aiming for a release on Gundam's 50th anniversary, so April 7th, 2029. And that wasn't the only anime they announced. Gundam Wing will be getting a new visual project at some point before 2029. Now, a new visual project can be a bunch of things, and when I first heard it, I immediately thought about that 2-minute promotional video that we got a while back. Even one of the hosts points out that it can be anywhere from a 10-second clip to a 2-hour movie to even a full 50-episode anime. It is then that it is confirmed that this new visual project, and I quote, is definitely something long. I think it's safe to assume that that means that we're at least getting a new Gundam Wing movie, if not something longer. And if I was a betting person, I think I might put my money on finally getting Frozen Teardrop animated. And that was it for the anime that they announced now, because they did say that there are more works that are being planned, but they just can't talk about those yet. They'll be announced when they get announced. On to the 50th anniversary events that they've got planned, with the biggest one so far being Gundam-Con. A huge event that will be all about Gundam. There's going to be Gunpla, Gundam Assemble, the Gundam card game, Arsenal Base, Extreme vs. 2 Infinite Boost, SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, Tamashii Nation, etc, etc. And best of all, it's not going to be limited to Japan. It will first be in Japan, but after that, they're planning to have Gundam Cons all over the world. In Japan, it'll be in the Makuhari Messe from January the 9th until the 11th, but to get in, you'll have to get your tickets through a lottery system, and they also haven't confirmed if this lottery system is going to be only for people living in Japan. Further into the future then, they're planning to have a Yoshiyuki Tomino exhibition in the Tokyo National Museum. It'll be held in 2029 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Gundam, but more details are yet to be announced, including even the name of this exhibition. This was then followed by another announcement that didn't have a lot of accompanying details. It is called the Gundam Landmark Project, and it is described as a Gundam facility that will be built in Japan for fans around the world. That can be a lot of things, but I feel like the most logical thing would be like a successor to the Gundam Factory Yokohama. It's called the Gundam Landmark Project, and it's gonna be an entire facility, so I think we gotta think big here. Next up, Hololive. We're really going from one thing to the other here. So, for the pilots that were already announced, they showed off new pilot suits, as well as their emblems and cute new SD illustrations. This was then followed by an announcement of 6 new VTuber pilots, and I'm not entirely convinced by their mobile suit selection. There's Subaru with the Wing Zero Endless Waltz version, Pecora with the Unicorn Gundam, Watame with the Providence, Calliope with the Epion, Iris with the Destiny, and Hajime with the Astray Goldframe Amatsu Mina. So, I'm not familiar enough with these VTubers to know how good of a fit all their mobile suits are, but I am disappointed with their selection for Mori and Subaru. Mori is known as the Grim Reaper, so the Death Scythe was right there, and for Subaru, I feel like they definitely should have gone with the Talkies, because that would have just been way more funny. At least for Mori, I thought the choice could somewhat be justified because with the first 6, they all got mobile suits that had a real grade. But now, Watame got the Providence, and that thing's got a master grade, so unless this is their way of secretly announcing a real grade Providence, they really dropped the ball with their selection for Mori. More details about the collaboration will be coming this summer. Moving along, we have the Gundam Omatsuri project, or the Gundam Festival project. In the past, Gundam has participated in like regional events before, for example the Sapporo Snow Festival. But starting this year, they're planning to participate in much more regional festivals, and they kind of want to highlight their regional charm, which I think could be a really good idea considering how the tourist situation is currently going in Japan. Everyone wants to go to the same 5 places in the same 3 cities. So having Gundam kind of promote these regional events could help somewhat with spreading out the tourists, even if just a little bit. Less good news then is that at the end of August, the life-size Unicorn Gundam statue in Odaiba will be removed. And yes, that is August of this year. To kinda have it go out with a bang then, they plan to give it some new decals, and they're also planning a bunch of special events, although what these are going to be, again, more details are yet to be announced. The biggest question remaining then, of course, is what's going to be next, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a next one. The Unicorn Gundam statue was a replacement for the RX-78-2 statue, so it's only logical that there is going to be a new statue in its place. The next question then, of course, is which mobile suit are they gonna go with? And if the global Gundam popularity poll is anything to go by, then maybe the Wing Zero Endless Waltz version? Because the thing is, it was first in the English rankings, but even more importantly, it was second in both the Japanese and the worldwide rankings. And in both of these, it was second behind the new Gundam, a Gundam that already has a statue. But yeah, that was it for the Spring 2026 Gundam Conference. We got a lot of announcements with a lot of stuff to look forward to, but we also have a lot of remaining questions because for a lot of these announcements, More details will be coming soon. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long. And then with the Gundam conference over, let's have a look at some of the figure announcements that we got this week. In late November, we'll get the latest lineup of the Mega Cat project, where famous Gundam characters are transformed into cute, super deformed cats. And this time, it's Mobile Suit Nyandem Seed False Kitty, which is a reference to the first episode of Gundam Seed, which is False Peace. So for 900 yen a pop, 6 US, you'll be able to get Kira, Lacus, Gagali, Atherin, Isaac, Diarca, Nickel, and La Crusade. These little rascals are about to cause a lot of trouble, and in late October, the Mega Cat Project, Federation, and Zeon are getting a restock, also going for 900 yen a piece. Late September then is when you'll be able to gachapon for these cosplaying Haros from the Narabundesu series. For 300 yen a spin, 2 US, you can get Haro as either the RX-72 Gundam, the Standard Zaku 2, Char Zaku 2, the new Gundam, or the Sazabi. And I gotta ask, what do you think about our mono-eye machines now having twin eyes? I remember when they did this with the Mega Cat project, they made the Zaku cats wink so that the figures still only had one visible eye. But yeah, cool little collectibles for a very low price. Not so cheap then is the Premium Bandai Limited Metal Robot Spirit Side MS Gundam Bael Recoordinate version. In short, it's a re-release, but with a revamped color scheme and new markings, both on the mobile suit itself and on the action base. So for the accessories, it's still the same. There's 2 normal Bael swords, 2 bigger Bael swords for dynamic poses, a Bael sword effect part, an eye effect part, an action base, and a bunch of hand options. All of which can be yours in October for 19,800 yen, 125 US. For something completely different then, pre-orders have begun on Japanese Premium Bandai for this Zeon-themed Yakimari Smokeless Yakiniku grill, made in collaboration with Iwatani. You can get it in either Char Zaku 2 Red or Standard Zaku 2 Green, and it's advertised as being perfect for enjoying yakiniku indoors because the cassette gas doesn't produce a lot of smoke. And I'm pretty sure this also makes it a perfect camping stove to cook pretty much anything else too. Maybe you can even use it to boil some water for these Witch from Mercury noodles. In the past, they already had a collaboration with Toyo Suisan, and they're back for round 2, with some new adorable illustrations done by Mogumo, the original character designer for Witch from Mercury. Starting May the 21st, you'll be able to get red tanuki noodles with Suleta and green kitsune noodles with Miorine in participating 7-Elevens. Both of them are wearing a kimono and have ears and a tail to match their spirit animal. And staying with the food news, pre-orders have begun for this Premium Bandai Limited SD Gundam G Generation Eternal Snack Number 1 and Snack Number 2 sticker binder. The map goes for 2,750 yen, 17 US, is slated for an October release, and will have room for both the already released Snack Number 1 stickers and the upcoming Snack Number 2 stickers. Also, it'll come with a holographic XS Gundam sticker. Meanwhile, on the gaming front then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the Vigna Zero has joined the fray, while on Steam the Shaku has become available. In UC Engage there was an event unit assembly for the UR Shuji Ito and his UR Red Gundam, as well as new Blitz missions, and over at SD Gundam G Generation Eternal, they're once again celebrating being number 1 on certain storefronts. Once again, giving everyone 3,000 diamonds. Something that no doubt had to do with their latest story event dropping. On the 13th, the Gundam Thunderbolt Bandit Flower event went live, along with some really cool new units. From Thunderbolt itself, there's units like the UR Atlas Gundam EX version with E.O. Fleming, the UR Vincent Pike and Spartan Supporter, the SSR Bianca Carlyle, the SSR Atlas Gundam, and the SSR Agai Recon type with Daryl Lawrence. But then from the G Generation original cast, we got the fan favorite UR Florence Kirishima together with the UR Great Zeon EX. Or who knows, maybe they reached number 1 because they celebrated GOG Day, which was on the 9th. Also, new stages and event missions were added to the Eternal Road. As for the things you could get this week then, we started on May the 9th with some new Gundam card game things. For 990 yen, 6 US, you could choose between a set of Mafty, Zaft, Celestial Being, or Zeon card sleeves, and for 1980 yen, 12 US, you could get a storage box and resource card set, with the resource cards having the emblems of the Ayuk, the Titans, the Hyakushiki, the Cyclops team, the King of Hearts, Celestial Being, Tekadon, Gallarhorn, Mafty, and the Pomeranians. And you can find those same emblems and more on that storage box. From the 11th then, you could gacha for the Exceed model Zaku Head Reboot number 1. What makes this Reboot line different from the previous lines, you ask? Well, other than the price, nothing as far as I can tell. They now go for 600 yen a spin instead of 500 yen a spin, but they're still the same amazing looking Zaku heads that they've always been. I guess it's just been a while since their last release, so combined with the price hike, they just decided to call it a reboot. It's also not like these are re-releases or like a best-of re-release. All 4 of these colors are new. They're Char Zaku 2 Real Type colors, Yuma Lightning's Zaku 2 High Mobility Type R1A, the Zaku High Mobility Test Type, and the Zaku Tank Green Macaque version. And even with them now being 600 yen, I think they're still totally worth it. Like I said, they're really detailed and they've also got a moving mono eye. They make for like a perfect little display piece. For this week's reading material then, there was the 34th chapter of Gundam Sequel, released for free online and linked down below, and there was the June 2026 issue of CG World, featuring Hathaway's Flash, the Sorcery of Nymph Circe. It'll have an interview with the director, concept art, 3D renders, and more. And that has been all for this week's Gundam News. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam News.